Larry Ellison is one of the richest men in the world and has vowed to give away all his money when he dies. But that is a lie, because he has no intention of dying.
Let's begin.
He has turned $1,200 into an empire worth over $100 billion and is responsible for managing nearly all of the data in the world, including the highly confidential databases of organizations such as the CIA and YMCA.
I think you'll like it.
But on the other hand, many people hate him. His rivals say he is hyper-aggressive and will do whatever it takes to beat the competition. This is a man who will literally go through his opponent's trash to try and dig up dirt on them. A man who hates to lose so much that he would rather lie, cheat or steal in order to win.
I'm addicted to winning. The more you win, the more you want to win.
And yet, we need him. Every single piece of technology we use relies on his company Oracle. You may not know much about them, but they know everything about you. Like what you really asked ChatGPT and how much you paid for tickets to visit Andrew Tate in prison. Without Oracle, society would completely collapse, and the man behind it loves to live up to his reputation as a playboy billionaire. This has led many people to ponder the question, what is the difference between God and Larry Ellison? Well, God doesn't think he is Larry Ellison.
Right. Mea culpa, guilty as charged. That one I'm afraid is true.
It is 1944 and Lawrence Joseph Ellison is born to a single mother in the Bronx, New York. Larry contracts pneumonia at 9 months old and his mother struggles to take care of him. So she puts him up for adoption. He will not see her again for 5 decades. Rejected by his parents at less than a year old, Larry's adopted mother is very caring of him. His father, however, is cold and distant. At the age of 12, Larry's father delivers shocking news that will change the course of history forever.
I was adopted within my own family when I was 9 months old. I was born in New York City. My mother was 19. She wasn't married. And really was unable to care for me. I tried until I was 9 months old, and then I was adopted by my maternal aunt and uncle in Chicago, and moved to Chicago, the south side of Chicago.
Larry carries this feeling of rejection with him, but does not cry about it. Like all real Giga Chads, he bottles it all up, and instead develops a giant chip on his shoulder.
So shocking, I just put it away and thought about it for years.
From that point on, that pain will drive Larry to be one of the most successful people of all time. And still, he will never ever be satisfied. Larry is a clever boy but has no interest in school. He enrolls at the University of Illinois as a pre-med student and is crowned Science Student of the Year in what will be his first taste of superiority. But that victory is cut short as his adoptive mother, whom he is very fond of, dies. A grief-stricken Larry drops out of college and spends the summer of '66 with the hippies out in California.
I experimented with marijuana a time or two and I didn't like it.
He gives university one more shot and studies physics and maths in Chicago, but tires of this quickly, and so does his wife.
She accused me of being irresponsible, and she told me I lacked ambition. She kicked me out, and then she divorced me. This was a pivotal moment in my life.
At the age of 21, Larry has a midlife crisis. He buys a flashy blue Ford Thunderbird and drives all the way to Berkeley, California. A road trip that will ignite one of the most insane billionaire stories of all time. And it looks like Larry's luck is about to change for the better.
There's no system in the world that can do this other than.
I decided to go in the computer business in college. I started working part-time programming. I found that in a very short period of time I could make more money writing programs than a tenured professor at the University of Chicago was making. and I was a teenager.
On the drive down, Larry Ellison discovers he's quite a talented programmer, just not quite as good as he says he is. He meets his first client while working at the small Silicon Valley tech company Ampex, none other than everyone's favorite law enforcement group, the Central Intelligence Agency. The CIA are worried about the security of their international database and are looking for a solution. Luckily, Larry sees that IBM has the solution and they don't even know it.
I said, oh my God, we can beat IBM to market because IBM doesn't believe in their own idea.
Copying IBM software, he starts his own company with his colleague Bob Miner, and together they form Software Development Systems, or SDL as it is known in Silicon Valley. Their first client, the CIA. Their first product, Oracle version 2. Wait, what? Yes, Larry, being a marketing wizard, did not think that anyone would trust the first version of a new software. So they sneakily named it version 2 and nobody notices. Larry's initial investment in the company is a measly $1,200, but as we shall see, it won't be long until he is swimming with the sharks of the tech industry. SDL's business model is so boring that Larry decides to change the name to Oracle in order to spice things up a little. It becomes an essential infrastructure for any company working with the internet, and it begins to dominate the data storage space. Oracle provides products that organize large amounts of data in a way that allows for efficient storage and quick retrieval. Basically, it is a giant warehouse for data. This is vital for big companies because at the time nobody knows how to protect sensitive information online. Nobody except for Larry, that is. Oracle IPOs and Larry Ellison's share is worth a cool $93 million.
I love the internet.
Making him the #1 tech gigachad for a day. Microsoft IPOs the following day and Bill Gates is now worth $350 million, making him one of the richest men in the world and catapulting him far ahead of Ellison. Due to his obsession with being #1, a furious Ellison vows to take down Microsoft and officially makes Bill Gates his arch nemesis.
Bill, forgive me, there are a lot of people in the world smarter than Bill Gates.
Gates, on the other hand, does not even realize he's in a war for tech supremacy at all. He believes Larry and him are actually good friends. In Larry's samurai warrior mind, though, the tech industry is not big enough for the two of them.
I think the most difficult experience I had was in 1990.
The Oracle sales team are taking after their fearless leader's aggressive tactics. It turns out they are selling software that does not even exist yet, as one would expect. Issues start to arise when the promised software does not materialize. The sales team are beyond happy with their Christmas bonuses, but clients are not, as they've received 0 of the products that they have already paid for. Oracle's 5th update is also released at this time, Oracle version 6, and it just so happens to be the worst one ever. Sales absolutely plummet and the big boss is down $790 million. A crushed Ellison is now a laughing stock, and the company is about to go bankrupt, but for some quick thinking by the commander-in-chief.
And that means I had to ask people who I'd worked with for a decade to leave. I had to fire people.
Larry Ellison fires 10% of the staff, including his girlfriend, now an ex, for obvious reasons.
We weren't kids anymore, and the business wasn't a little business anymore, it was big business, and we had to replace virtually all of senior management. And it was a very painful process.
The company is safe for now, and Larry admits they made a terrible business mistake. But he is about to have another issue from within the company, and it is a problem with the person he least expects. And no, it is not his ex-wife. Mark Benioff joins the Oracle Corporation. Benioff is a young hotshot programmer who has just completed his internship at Apple. He joins the Oracle team in a customer service role and receives the coveted Rookie of the Year award at the age of 23. 3 years later, he is named as the company's youngest ever vice president. As we shall soon see, Benioff will go on to build his own powerhouse company, one you should all be familiar with. Larry sees a lot of himself in Benioff, and for 13 years he mentors the young talent. The two become close friends, but soon it will all end in tears.
Loyalty is dead.
Oracle's favorite son Benioff leaves the company to start his own database business called Salesforce. You may have heard of it.
Well, you can really see we are crushing Oracle. You can see it on the chart right there, SAP, Microsoft.
Larry is on the Salesforce board of directors, but not for long. The former friends come to blows when Larry starts his own side hustle to directly compete with Salesforce. In what becomes a media frenzy, the pair trade blows and throw digs at each other's companies.
The message of this show is proprietary hardware and software is the future. And our message as we go around the world is beware of that false cloud. Beware of the false cloud because it is not efficient, it is not democratic, it is not economical, it is not environmental, it is not open.
Benioff wants Ellison to quit. Ellison responds, "It would be much cooler if you fired me." Benioff grants him his wish and lays his claim to be the only person to ever fire Larry Ellison. Not one to be outdone, Larry gets the last laugh and he boots Benioff out of an Oracle Open World event that he was to give a keynote speech at. But this beef is playground stuff compared to the battle Larry is about to commence.
This Windows 95 is an enormously complicated piece of software. And the idea that people are going to install this in their households and manage these things in their household, to me, is hilarious. And it's time for something that's easier to use. Well, this is clearly part of our strategy to dethrone Microsoft.
Over at Oracle headquarters, Larry comes up with a plan to dethrone his arch-rival Bill Gates, who is still blissfully unaware of their rivalry.
But the way you dethrone Microsoft is not simply to throw darts at Bill Gates and hate and envy Bill Gates. You have to think about products and create products that are better than the products that Microsoft is selling.
Larry hates the PC.
I hate the PC with a passion.
Oracle releases their own version of the laptop, the NC, or Network Computer for short.
We've introduced this new class of computer for normal human beings at very low cost.
That's pretty.
Very low cost, very lightweight. Now every person can use a computer because they're low cost and very easy to use.
There's just one problem with NC. It runs entirely on the internet, and everyone's internet is slow as hell. The NC is about 15 years ahead of its time and completely flops. Bill Gates wins again, in a competition he still doesn't realize he's partaking in.
I don't talk to Bill anymore.
A beaten and bruised Larry comes up with another plan: get married again. And in the case of Bill Gates and Microsoft, when you can't beat them, dig through their garbage instead. It is 2000. Microsoft is under investigation for antitrust violations. Larry is about to do the Lord's work, or so he says. Concerned citizen Larry Ellison believes that Microsoft is hiding secrets about stolen software, so he hires a team of private investigators to go through their garbage. Literally. They find rubbish linked to the company and even offer $1,400 to the janitors for their trash. The janitors refuse, but Larry could not be more pleased with himself. The investigation is a success and proves that Microsoft is paying advocacy groups to support them publicly. During their antitrust lawsuit, Larry hands over the intel to the feds and Bill Gates gets in trouble.
I feel good about telling what we did. All we did was try to uncover Microsoft's covert operations. That's not arrogance of power, that's a public service.
Larry is about to make his most brazen moves yet. He is about to sue the city of San Jose. It is 2001 and one of the worst things imaginable has just happened.
How do you read, Captain? Loud and clear.
Larry Ellison is served a summons and has been forced to ground his plane at night due to a 70-year-old curfew in San Jose Airport. Larry wants to fly his plane at whatever hour he wishes. So, being the reasonable billionaire that he is, he decides his best option is to sue the city of San Jose. This would sound bizarre if not for the fact that Larry actually won the case, becoming one of the people in history to sue the government and win. The judge grants Larry a waiver to fly anytime, day or night. While all the peasants must obey the curfew, Larry leaves the courtroom smiling from ear to ear. One man, on the other hand, is not so pleased: his accountant. It is 2002 and Larry receives the coveted Centurion card from American Express. The limit on the card is $1 billion.
We both had really good credit.
I know what you're all thinking. How do I subscribe to the Kevin John YouTube channel? Hit the big red button below. Once again, Larry Ellison wants to prove the doubters wrong and do the impossible. A Centurion card calls for a celebration, and an egregious shopping spree is in order. Yachts, McLarens, and one of the most expensive real estate deals in USA history. Larry is thrilled.
I know. I've tried hard. But it's impossible.
His accountant is not so thrilled. Emails are leaked during an insider trading lawsuit between Larry and his accountant, Philip Simon. Simon says he is worried. How will he get paid if Larry has no money left to be counted?
I'm worried, Larry. I think it's imperative that we start to budget and plan.
He warns Larry to stop blowing all the money. Larry obliges, and everyone believes this situation is rescued. But they could not be more wrong. Larry is about to make his most impulsive purchase to date.
I had the fastest racing sailboat in the world, maybe the fastest racing sailboat in history.
In what is a decade-long obsession, Larry invests $400 million in a race, a boat race. Besides spending a ton of money, there's just one more glaring issue. Oracle's team is extremely slow, and Larry absolutely hates to lose.
There is absolutely no doubt that he hates to lose. There's no doubt of that at all.
So being the fair and competitive man that he is, he does the only logical thing. He cheats.
It is my job to, go out in the marketplace and win.
By placing weights in the boat, it allows them to sail much faster. But Larry's genius is thwarted by the commission and national scandal breaks loose. Larry sails over this issue quickly and moves on as if nothing ever happened, which is good, because he is about to go to war. No, not with his now third ex-wife, with the neighbors. Up in the hills of San Francisco and his multi-million-dollar mansion, Larry Ellison is furious. His neighbors, the Von Bothmers, have allowed their giant redwoods to roam free and grow too tall for Larry's liking. Ellison is a reasonable man, so he hires a tree attorney and sues them. Yes, a tree attorney is a real thing. As you should all be aware by now, Larry does not lose, and the neighbors are court-ordered to cut down the redwoods, much to the annoyance of the Green Coalition of Betas. Apparently, Ellison tried to buy the house on 2 occasions, but Von Bothmers rejected his $15 million offer. But in the next lawsuit, Larry is about to meet the man that will finally beat him. And he too goes by the name Larry.
Larry specifically. I think...
Larry per se.
Fast forward to 2010, Larry Ellison is firing shots at a new target, Google.
When you write a program for the Android phone, you write it, you use the Oracle tool or Oracle Java tools for everything.
Ellison is adamant that Google has stolen Oracle's software to build the Android ecosystem, and he does the only thing a logical man would do in this situation.
What they did was absolutely evil.
And you blame Larry Page?
100% Larry Page.
So if what they did is evil, that makes Larry Page evil?
No, it makes what he did evil, which is quite different.
He sues Google for stealing the Java software and in the process costs Oracle billions of dollars. For the first time in his life, Ellison does not win, and the court sides with Larry Page and Google. The judge deems Oracle's control of the Java code monopolistic and against everyone's best interests.
This really bothers me. I don't see how he thinks you can just copy someone else's stuff. It really bothers me.
Frustrated that he must follow local laws, he decides to leave America and move to somewhere he has total control and the freedom to do whatever he pleases. But as we shall see, not everyone will be as pleased as Larry, especially his new wife. Larry buys 98% of the island of Lanai in Hawaii for $300 million. In a final cameo, Bill and Melinda Gates are married at the 17th tee box of the island's golf course. It is not known if they also got divorced there. Owning your own island would grant you certain freedoms, or so Larry thought, but he can't escape trouble, not even on his own island.
All new tonight, we've obtained the police body cam video showing the world's 6th richest man during a traffic stop on Lanai.
While driving his Corvette, he's pulled over by police for speeding and given a ticket.
The reason I stopped you is you ran through the stop sign and you were kind of speeding there. Any reason why in particular?
I was trying to get home to dinner with my kids, but there's no excuse.
Okay, cool.
Larry handles the situation graciously, but deep down he is seething. What is the point of buying an island if you cannot drive your supercar quickly around it? The cop, on the other hand, is given a hero's welcome by the locals, many of whom hate Larry because he treats the island like his personal laboratory. He's using the island as an experiment for sustainable living, much to the annoyance of the local residents, who have now realized they are the test subjects. But Larry owns the land. They are allowed to leave if they are not happy with him, just like his fourth wife.
You have collections of cars, jets, private homes owning the island of Lanai. Tell me how you did it.
Well, I think my favorite line is, I had all the disadvantages necessary for success.
Whether you love him or you hate him, you cannot deny that Larry Ellison is a pivotal figure within the 21st century.
We want to make sure we beat Amazon in cloud database.
Next time you log into Pornhub, you might consider the man that made it all possible. Probably not. Maybe you will see him cameo in Iron Man 6 with Robert Downey Jr.'s grandson playing Tony Stark.
Hey, the Oracle of Oracle. What a pleasure. Nice to see you.
Or at his 160th birthday party on the island of Lanai. Who knows how long he can cheat death for, but if there is one man brazen enough to try it, it's Larry Ellison, whose name will go down in legend as an eccentric, charismatic playboy billionaire that started with a small sum of $1,200 and nothing but ruthless aggression and turned it into one of the most powerful companies of all time. That is Larry Ellison, the real-life Iron Man.
At first, they call you arrogant, and then they say you're crazy. So remember this, graduates. When people start telling you that you're crazy, you just might be onto the most important innovation in your life. Of course, the other possibility is you're crazy.